sort of in that Goldilocks zone, that perfect water ski viewing temperature.
Yeah, well, really, Glenn, you know, over the years, we have our ups and downs with the weather, which is just like any place on Earth that you could go. But this year, it's if you placed an order for what sort of weather and conditions you would want for the MOOMBA Masters, so far we've had exactly what the doctor ordered. It's been absolutely glorious. A little bit of rain around on the first day of juniors on Thursday, but really it wasn't of any concern as 13 metres, Sati Ferguson coming back on course. Well, she ran that opening pass quite comfortably, the 14.25. Now turns that ski around 2 at 13. Very early there for 3. Now turns around 4. And that's probably the hardest turn, boy, as she completes the course at 13 metres. The boy 4, the ski just chatted a little and had me a little concerned. There must be just that tiny little roller or two as the skiers are transitioning around boy 4, but she really had no issues with turning it and getting to 5. But I don't know if you noticed it, but I just thought there could have been a roller or two around boy 4.
Well, we've had, you notice there's a few scores earlier on of 3.5 to 13. 3 skiers, in fact, that all fell around that boy, that 4 boy you're talking about, and it was a little movie. But the last, it was like we flicked a switch, Rob. We had a lot of trouble early on with the ladies, but the last 4 skiers all have run 12 metre and all got scores onto 11.
And I mean, whether it's fact or fiction, we sort of generally over the juniors we were talking about, we're thinking it's maybe a little easier to come in from the city end. So good to see that the girls that did run 12 have been able to attack the 11.25 from the city end, probably giving them a little bit of an extra chance, although we only have scores of 1 and 2, but in this seeded order we have plenty of quality still to come. And when I look through those names, I think it's quality with a capital Q.
Certainly is. So there's 2 things at play here, Rob. We have the top 6 will go straight into the final on Monday, and then we'll just watch this 12-metre line, and then the next 6 will go into the LCQ tomorrow afternoon. Here we go. Sati Ferguson, this is 12-metre line. Getting a little bit down course here. She's going to have to fight hard from this one. She's pretty late out of 4. She works across the 5. She's got 5. She should get to 6, does she? All the way to 6. Lots of slack. I don't know. No. 5.5, I think, will be the score. It's possible 6 with no rider return. But, well, no rider return. She's got no handle, so she can't return.
But yeah. Well, to sort of explain that to maybe some viewers that, some audience that don't watch a lot of slalom skiing, that if she did manage to get through the gates and the judges deemed that she was, I guess, in skiing position, but the line has to have tension.
They're going to review it, but the judges have all said 5.5, so we've got a score of 5.5.
Yeah. So which means she's fallen, or not.
Which most likely outcome for Sadie, as we watch that fall again, most likely outcome from Sadie is that she'll ski tomorrow afternoon in the LCQ, right?
Yeah, but I guess, Glenn, just by a bit of further clarification, that if she had have gotten through the gates and fallen, it's a fall. She doesn't get to come back, but she would be given that score of 6.
Yes.
But looking like, and I had a bit of a glimpse at the screen, looking at where and how she fell. I can see where the 5.5 came from. Well, that was a real shame because. Sure, she was a little bit late, but a great turn out of 5, and sure, late into 6, but then just kind of got out of sorts, maybe on the back of a ski, couldn't control it. If she could have somehow just turned the buoy and just hung on, taken the hit from that obviously slack rope that she generated and could have got through, she would have been coming back at 11.25, but it wasn't to be, so 5.5 on the 12 for Sati Ferguson.
Yep, and we're not too far away from getting, in fact, after this next skier. Well, actually, no, now we know.
We'll have one of our favourite words, the bubble, the cut.
Yeah, line, so you're right. So we're going to, so at the moment, 2 at 11 looks like the bubble to get into the final on Monday, so straight into the final. And that's with Daniela Krishma, because we have 6 skiers left. Annemarie Wroblewski, Ali Garcia, Nelly Ross, Elizabeth Montalvan, Whitney Reaney and Regina Jacquis, all to come. That's 6 skiers. We need 6 skiers to go straight into Monday's final. So the score for them to beat, well, at least tie. They only need to tie it because of their superior ranking. It's 2 at 11. So 2 at 11 looks at the stage like being the cut to make it through, straight through to Monday's final.
Then I did hear you and Jared discussing the LCQ. Then there's an LCQ with, I forget, 6 or 8 skiers in it, maybe 6, and then
6,
the top 2
will go through.
Will join those other 6 in the final.
Absolutely. Okay. United States competitor, Annemarie Wroblewski now. 14.25 to start. A little bit of a breeze just appeared. Okay, back on the water now. Here we go. Annemarie Wroblewski from the United States is 14.25 to start. A little bit of a breeze just appeared, blowing from the city end down towards the Swan Street Bridge, just to add into the drama. Gives us something more to talk about in commentary. It's not glassy calm anymore, just that little breeze. So we kind of get, as the tide starts to go out, which is a tail current from the Swan Street Bridge towards the city, we now sort of have a bit of a breeze running from the city down to the Swan Street Bridge. What that means, I don't know. The two things could cancel each other out, maybe. Who knows?
I was just thinking that. It gives us something to talk about, because we're discussing now, like, we go on at length about the current, but now we're talking about the current being cancelled out by the head breeze.
Yes.
So it's really, it's sort of riveting stuff, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know what commentators talk about on a perfect man-made ski lake, because they don't really get to talk about the weather and the current and the tide and stuff as much as we do.
And there's a lot of stuff we talk about that they wouldn't even venture to go near, so I don't know, I don't know what they really talk about. I don't know what they talk about.
Maybe that's why our commentary career has never really taken off outside of MOOMBA.
We put a pitch into the guy from the guy that does all the telecasts last year.
You did well, Rob. You met Vinny Studdlebar, and as soon as you heard that he ran TWC, you shot straight up out of your chair and
I put in a resume.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a lot to go through.
He's
so
busy
takes
man.
a while till they come back.
Hasn't got back to you yet. Anyway, back on the water here from the city end. This is 13 metre, 32 off. Annemarie Wroblewski out of the USA. She's starting a little bit down course here. Needs a decent 4 ball. She's okay. Across the 5 she goes. She's a little late, but she should get to 6. She does, but a slack, but out the exit gates, and it's a full course there at 32 off, 13 metre line.
Yeah, Glenn, look, I'll make a bit of a comment about how she looked coming out of 4. She looked like she was a fraction down course, but really stayed so calm, didn't panic, probably knows that being on the 13 metre line, she had a little bit up her sleeve. But then on the other hand, I suppose it's possible if you spoke to her, she'd be going, no, it's like the duck that's paddling that looks really calm on the surface, but it's going flat out underneath. Maybe she was obviously working very hard on the 13 metre pass, but just looked relaxed and looked very composed, I thought, did Annemarie Wroblewski. Okay, confirming that next time we see Annemarie, she will be on the 12 metre rope length, 35 off. We like to welcome our international viewers, anybody watching the webcast. If you're joining us from somewhere in North America, or of course Europe, it's a very good morning or a very good evening. But perfect viewing time in the USA with the time difference to Australia, a Friday evening over there at the moment. Perfect timing to be watching this women's slalom. And if you are, it's a big Good evening, good morning, and welcome to the MOOMBA Masters in Melbourne, Australia.
Here we go, under the Swan Street Bridge she comes. 12-metre line, more than 2 gets her into the LCQ, we believe, on this pass. So first job is done here on the 12-metre line. Round 3 she goes. Across the 4, she's fighting hard. She's on 4. She's on time enough, I think. A little bit late, but she's going to get there. Round 5, across the 6. Oh no, what's happened here? A little bit late for 6. Sort of skied straight to it. You'd still think she could have got around it though.
She would have. Well, for the last 2 skiers, Glenn, it's the curse of 6 ball. It's
wow, this is so. I believe that will mean she'll be in the
LCQ,
LCQ, but she's not straight into the final because 2 at 11 is the mark to get straight into that final. So that, I think, we don't have a highlighter pen with us, but I think that unofficially confirms Daniela Kretschmar is straight into Monday's final. That's our first skier into that Monday's final.
Because Glenn, I suppose, no, we haven't had a highlighter pen for about, how long since Des has been here?
Quite some time.
Such is our professionalism. When Des went and took the highlighting pen, it just, it was kind of it.
And with the LCQ, we actually kind of need 2 different coloured highlighting pens now.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, mate.